What's up, doll collectors, hobbyists, fabs, and besties? I'm Toya, an adult doll collector. Welcome to my miniverse. Let's get festive. I was reading the comments and one of you said, Toya, can you do a craft using toilet paper rolls? Why, yes. Yes, I think we can. There's a project I've been wanting to try ever since we made Elphaba's broom. So let's make a tree using toilet paper rolls. To the craft table. For this project, we're using toilet paper rolls. Probably going to use some recycled paperboard from a box, or you could use poster board. I'll be using paint and hot glue. Let's start by cutting the box and bending it to make a cone. Hold it together with hot glue. Trim off the excess. I'm going to cut my cone down to 11 inches. And this is going to be the base of our tree. And I'm going to use toilet paper rolls to make the needles. So let's cut them into 3 parts. I don't think we have to be precise here. I think it can vary a little. I flatten each piece, then cut, going all the way down, but stopping before we reach the end. And we're just going to do that over and over again to kind of shred it while still keeping them connected. Then repeat several times. This is when you put on your favorite holiday rom-com and craft away. All right, that might be enough. I made my cone pretty thin because my dollhouse is kind of small. However, the shredded toilet paper rolls will add a little bulk. But before I glue them on, take acrylic paint, cut the tubes open, then give them a dark base coat. I paint both sides and make sure the little needles are separated before drying. I'm kind of wondering if it would be easier to paint the tube first before cutting it. I cut it open to paint the inside. Once dried, cut it into pieces, then cut the connected strips. So here are the ones we cut first, and here are the ones we painted first. Painting them first was definitely a little neater, and the needles don't stick together. However, you can see some of the unpainted paperboard on the sides. Cutting them first is a little less neat, but you can paint the sides, so you can just pick and choose which one you like better. Now that we have several, we can start gluing them onto the cone. I'm using my hot glue gun to attach the strips. We can fan out the strips, and that's going to make our tree a little wider. Then just continue gluing them on until it's covered. You can choose to paint the cone if you're worried about it showing, but I'm just keeping the strips pretty close together. And let's mix in a few longer pieces every once in a while and curl the ends up to make a doll-sized tree out of toilet paper rolls. And the height looks pretty good for our new dollhouse. Now let's take some LED lights. I'm using ones with a green wire. Run the wire through the center of the tree and out the top, then wrap them around the tree. Oh no, my battery pack doesn't fit all the way into the cone. So let's make a little tree skirt to hide it using another toilet paper roll and a recycled box or more paperboard. I sketch a circle onto the box, cut it out, cut ribbon or fabric, glue it around the edge of the circle, making like a little cylinder, then fold in the rest of the ribbon and glue it in the center. So we have a little covered circle. Cut a toilet paper roll to cover the rest of the battery pack. Cover it with a wood grain paper. I used a scrap of contact paper I had lying around. I place the battery pack inside, making sure it can fit, then glue it to the circle. So we can place the battery inside and then put the tree on top. All right. I think that'll work. Let's take more ribbon and go around the tree. I used a pink velvet and loosely placed it going around. And I added a little pink bow to the top. We can take a few of those holiday picks. This one has like little berries that I thought we could use for ornaments. Just cut the stem, curl it to make a hook so they can hang on the branches. Or we can just cut and glue them into the tree. In our Five Below haul, I bought this bracelet. We used one of the charms to add a little something to one of our mini fashion bags. But in the comments, some of you said that we should use the charms as ornaments. So let's remove them from the bracelet, use a thin wire to make a hook, then hang it on the tree. It kinda looks like jewelry all over the tree. I found some more ribbon that I bought on clearance years ago. Let's add it going around the tree the other direction. Seriously, I've had it forever. I might as well use it. And I think we have a pretty nice little tree for the dolls made out of recycled toilet paper rolls. Now let's place it on this side of the room. Or maybe it was better on this side. Let's add a rug, a few paintings. We can bring in our couch from recycled plastic bottles. Add a pillow or two. Let's take some of the leftovers from the tree. Cut a circle from another paper tube, painted green. Then cut up the leftover pieces from the tree. Glue them onto the circle, crunch and curl the ends. I ran out before I could go all the way around. So let's just add a bow and a few beads to make a wreath to hang on the wall out of toilet paper rolls. It makes more sense to have the tree over here, but I kinda just like this angle. We can take another toilet paper roll, cut a 1-inch piece and a 1/4-inch piece, glue the 1-inch piece on recycled paperboard, then cut around the bottom. I have 2.5-inch ribbon. Glue it to the bottom of the cylinder. Trim around it, leaving a small edge. Take another piece of ribbon and glue it on at the edge, going all the way around. Then trim the top just a little, then fold it over and glue it inside. Cut a strip of cardstock that's a little wider than 1 inch. Glue it inside of the toilet paper roll so there's a white rim sticking out at the top. Take the 1/4-inch piece, glue it onto paperboard as well, trim off the excess, cover with ribbon. I added a little trim onto the edge to make a lid for a hat box. Let's add a bow to the front, take elastic cord, make knots on the ends, glue them onto the sides of the hat box for a little extra detail. And now we have a little box where we can place a present inside for a little extra fun under the tree. Thank you for joining us while we made a few things for the dollhouse using toilet paper rolls. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at MyFroggyStuff and Bella of MyFroggyStuff on Instagram. And we will see you next time. Bye!